So this is a shamanic journey to meet your animal spirit guide. And they take you on a journey to Sacred Mountain to meet an ancestor who shares their wisdom with you, their knowledge. So in this journey, just relax and be as open as possible. Don't try to make anything happen or try to see any visions. Just allow it to happen. Give yourself permission to relax fully. And if you fall asleep, that's also okay. So imagine now, in your mind's eye, that you are out in nature, in a field. There's a stream nearby. Begin to really look at your surroundings. Look at that field. Look at how far it goes. Way up ahead, you see a mountain. That's the one your ancestors would go to when they were doing vision quests. You know about that mountain. They call it Sacred Mountain. But right now, you're just in that field, and you can hear that stream right next to you. See it. See how clear that water is. Hear it. The sun is shining. The weather is perfect. And you're on a journey. And you're on a path. And you start walking along that path, noticing everything around you. That path is leading to that mountain, but it's quite far away. And there's a forest on your way to that mountain. And as you're walking along that path, you'll start to notice the shrubs, the bushes, the trees start to get thicker. And then just up ahead, you see a great big tree, grandmother tree. Just visualize this giant, beautiful tree. Imagine how high is this tree and how far did the roots go deep. Just in front of that tree, there's a little squirrel picking up maybe some walnuts. Maybe it's an old walnut tree. Stuffing them in its mouth, and it looks up and sees you. And it was almost as if it was expecting you, and it was just finding something to do until you came. So this little squirrel has a voice, and it says, "Welcome, my friend. I know you're on a journey, and I'm here to guide you on the next part of your journey." And so it says, "Follow me." And it starts to bring you around this giant tree. Maybe it's 10, 15 feet around. And as you go around the other side of that tree, it points at the base of it, and it says, "There's the door to go in." And so you don't see the door. You're like, it's just a tree. It says, "No, look. Look." there's a door. And right before your very eyes, a door appears on the tree. And it opens. And the squirrel says for you to go in. This is the next part of your journey. So you trust the squirrel, and you trust the journey, and you trust that Spirit is guiding you, bringing all the signs that you need. And you just trust your intuition, the animals. You go inside this giant tree, and you look around in there, and it's almost as if someone had been living there. There's a little table and chairs, bookshelf over here on that side, candles lit. You can see, it's a little dark, but you can see. There's actually little windows actually in the tree also, letting in a little bit of light. And you look up, and there's a staircase that goes way, way, way up to, you can't even see where it goes to. That is the upper world, the squirrel says. He goes, but we're not here today to go to the upper world. Today we're going into the lower world. He says there's also a middle world too. The middle world is now. It represents the present, this time. It's the place where you can go communicate with anybody that you need to talk to here on the planet, in the mind. Or find lost objects, lost people, lost things. He says the upper world represents the future and communicating with the spirit world of your connection to the cosmos. He says most people, unless they're more advanced, they can't quite connect yet to that upper world. He says, but you will someday, the more you practice. So he says, today we're going to go into the lower world. And he points and he says, there's the passageway. And it's a spiral stairs that go down. In one corner edge of the tree, you see the sacred spiral of stairs going down into the earth. And he says, follow me. So you follow him. And he takes you down, 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 deep into the earth. And imagine, the deeper that you go down into the earth, you go deeper within yourself, into your body, into that relaxed state of consciousness. You can smell the earthly smell the further down you go. Maybe it's moist, maybe it's wet. And then eventually, this squirrel leads you to an opening. And you look and it's like a whole nother earth down there. But it's much different. The plants are much bigger. The fruits are much bigger. The colors are almost fluorescent. They're vibrant. There's 2 suns. And almost the same vegetation as what you were walking into. And up ahead in the clearing, you see a beautiful blanket laid out, sacred objects around the blanket, and the squirrel points to it and says, this has been prepared for you to go and sit. So you go over there and you sit down on the blanket, you get comfortable, and then he whistles. He's calling the animals. And you begin to see an animal come. This animal wants to join you on your journey today. Look at what animal comes as that squirrel calls them in. And that animal comes up to you and looks you in the eyes, very happy to see you. Acknowledge that animal. Look at it. Look at its colors. Look at what kind of animal it is, and thank it for coming. Then Squirrel says, this animal is your spirit guide for the rest of your journey. I'm going to wait right here for you. For when you come back, I can guide you back out. So this animal motions for you to follow it. And it's going to take you somewhere, wherever your soul needs to go. Whatever it is you need to see to help give you understanding, more peace, more balance in your life. Maybe you go back in time. Maybe you go talk to an ancestor. Maybe you go into the future to get a glimpse of what's to come. Let that animal guide you. And that animal starts taking you further towards that sacred mountain. In the underworld, the mountain is much closer. So you begin making your way up, up, up the mountain. And the further you go up, you look around and you can start to see for miles and miles and miles of just nature. And then suddenly you're at the top. And the trail leads you to the very center of the top of the mountain. It's flat up there. And you see a circle of stone. Notice how big that circle is. Look at the stones. Go up to it. Touch the stones. Feel their energy. And then your animal points for you to go inside the circle. And it's going to stay just outside the circle to watch over, protect you while you're in there. So you thank it. And you go inside that circle. And it's like entering a different dimension. Just notice how things look, how things feel. And there, you begin to see an ancestor from your past. Someone who shared their DNA with you, and you still carry it today. That DNA has been passed down generation after generation. All the memories of the past generations you carry within you. Some people call these memories of these past lives. Some people believe that these memories are the memories that you're having of what your ancestor experienced that needs reconciliation through you. Maybe they started something they weren't able to finish. Maybe something traumatic happened to them. And the event keeps getting passed down generation to generation. Well, today's the day. It stops with you. You are the link between the past and the future. Whatever you heal today for yourself and your ancestors, you heal for the 7 generations to come. Think of all those lives that you will be relieving them of having to go through that. So see that ancestor and see that they're carrying a bundle in both hands. Look at their robes, look what they're wearing, look at their hair, look at their face. Even if you don't recognize them, trust that they are one of your ancestors. And they have this wisdom, this message for you, this knowledge that they want to share. And they begin to open this bundle that they are carrying, and inside there is something very, very important, very special. Look at what that is. It represents the message, the teaching, the journey that they're about to take you through. Look at that. And now allow yourself to fade into that journey with your ancestor. Trust wherever you go. Trust however long it takes, and that you'll get whatever you need. now, no matter where you are on your journey, stay there. Notice where you are. What's going on? What happened? Remembering everything. Your ancestor turns and looks at you, takes you by the hand gently, looks you in the eyes and says, "My child, you know what to do. You know the truth. It's deep inside of you. Trust yourself. Trust your voice. And they thank you for having the courage to show up there today, to go on that journey, seeking that answers, that vision, or whatever healing it is you need. And now they start showing you the way back to that sacred circle of stones on top of Sacred Mountain. Nice and slowly making your way back to that sacred circle of stones until you see yourself standing there with your ancestor, remembering that bundle of gift that they gave you, representing your journey and what it meant, the wisdom, the knowledge that they shared. You take that bundle and you put it somewhere safe inside your body. And you thank them. You look at them and you thank them for your journey, and you thank them for everything they've done to pave the way before you. They represent all your ancestors from the past. And their wisdom and knowledge has been passed down to you. All you have to do is just tune into it, and you can talk to them at any time. You can connect with them. Our ancestors are always watching over us, always trying to guide us, give us signs, telling us that we're safe, it's okay. Do what you came here to do. Use your voice. Don't be afraid to take the action you need to take. And when you need that inspiration, the motivation, the guidance, the courage, it'll be there for you. Trust it, my child. You have an important purpose in this life right now. They bow to you and begin to step backwards, nice and slowly, until they disappear into the distance. And you watch them until they're gone. And then there you are, looking around inside that sacred circle of stones. Look around in there. Look at the symbols on the inside of the stones. Ancient writings. These are the writings of the people that were there before you, your ancestors that had done the same ceremony. Generation after generation, they carved their wisdom into those stones through symbols, maybe ancient writings. And now it's your turn. So imagine that you have the tools, whatever they may look like, to carve into that stone the message that you want to leave for the next generation that comes. Imagine that you're able to just easily put it in symbols or writing, and they'll know, they'll understand what it means. Carve it into the stone in that empty area of one stone. What message will you leave for the 7 generations? And now that you're done putting that message on the stone, you feel complete. You take one more look at the inside of that circle in gratitude. And then you step out, ready to start your journey. There's your animal waiting for you right there. Smiling at you, happy for you. And then it begins to start to guide you off of Sacred Mountain, down the trail. As you get closer and closer to the bottom of the mountain, the trees get thicker and thicker. And then it leads you to that second earth underneath, where everything's vibrant. You see that blanket there in the distance. You see squirrel waiting for you. It's almost feeling like you're coming home. You know what you have to do. So you go over to that blanket and you sit there. Your animal standing in front of you, nodding its head at you. Well done. Well done. So now this animal has other people that it needs to go guide, share these sacred places with. And so you thank it, bows to you, and then it begins to wander off into the distance. And you watch it till you can't see it anymore. Filled with gratitude. And then you see Squirrel there, and you look at Squirrel. Squirrel is smiling. Says it's time. It's time for you to go home. Carry out your purpose. This wisdom, this knowledge. So Squirrel takes your hand, begins to lead you out of that underworld, back up through that spiral staircase into Grandmother Tree, and you begin to emerge into that tree, and it starts to get lighter and lighter. There's the table and chairs with the candles. There's the bookshelf with the ancient writings, the little windows. And now Squirrel says, it's time to come out of the tree. You look around, you look up, you look down. And in a place of gratitude, you walk out that door. And you're standing and you're looking outside and you're like, wow, this is planet Earth. Look at how beautiful it is here. The sun is shining. There's the creek, the little river flowing, the trees. And Squirrel says, okay, my part is done, so I must go now. You thank Squirrel. Squirrel bows to you and runs off into the distance. You turn around and you look at Grandmother Tree, and the door is shut. Just looks like a tree. And you go over and you touch that tree and you thank that tree. Thank you. And the tree almost moves to acknowledge you. Its branches, maybe. The wind blows in its branches, acknowledging you. The spirit of the tree says thank you. And now you make your way around the other side of that tree on the trail, and you start walking home. And you make your way safely, easily back home to this time and space where you live now to carry out your purpose. Now, easily, gently, carefully, remembering everything, begin to make your way back to full conscious awareness. Begin to stretch your body, your feet, your legs, your hands, your arms. Taking a deep breath, getting oxygen into the brain. And then nice and gently, slowly, carefully, when you open your eyes, take a moment to just ponder on that journey